Hello all my Kenvians and welcome to a brand new episode of Discovering Steven Universe! I don't know why I said it that way, but I just felt like it this time because it has been a while since I recorded last. I apologize sincerely. I'm going to be saying that about a lot of videos coming out soon. But today I'm going to be watching Maximum Capacity. And it looks, well, based on the preview image at least, it looks like Steven's dad is going to be involved. So, cool. So let's get right into it, and I'm going to enjoy one of these delicious soft peppermints because they are delicious. Not sponsored, obviously. And it just fell into my chair. Anyway, let's begin! And I just dropped it again. Oh, like,
I'm not sure this summer wax special sign was that effective anyway.
Oh, it's summer already. Okay.
Throw myself out. Might as well store it for the rest of the winter.
So, which firework is your favorite, Dad?
Oh.
Okay, I'm just confused
I
then.
don't know. I just like watching them together with you.
Oh.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait for you.
Guy's not gonna do it. Who would organize a mess this big, though?
Ah, I know just the gem.
Pearl.
Here's
Oh.
Amethyst. Surprise.
Oh,
Something wrong?
no. I just thought you meant Pearl.
What? I'm a like books.
Ah, so books are cool again.
Yeah, ever since you guys grounded me from TV for 1,000 years.
We did what now?
You forgot all about that.
Yeah, I think you like this one, and maybe we'll save this one for when you're a little older.
Oh, goodness.
You got a photo of you and Mom.
It's okay. It's just the frame.
Aw.
Hey.
Lil Butler? Oh, where have you been all these years?
Lil Butler?
That's you. Amethyst, what's Little Butler?
Oh, man.
Good question.
Steven, we used to watch these all the time when you were little. You gotta see this.
I feel like this is going to be me when I have a kid and showing them cartoons. Like this!
Still grounded, you know. You people have too much money. Shouldn't we finish? Well, I always.
Oh, dear God.
You want to get started?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, this part is so good.
Perhaps Pearl was the right choice.
Yeah, buddy. That sounds like a good idea.
They used to disappear for days, watching those obnoxious tapes over and over and over until what? I don't know. One day they just stopped.
Uh-oh.
Happy New Year, Steven. How's my volume? No.
I love Garnet.
Hi, he's Steven. He's tough.
I wanted to be there.
Here. It would have been like this. Whoa, fireworks! Hey, Dad, come on. Now let's watch some Little Butler.
Amethyst, you know how I feel about shape-shifting.
Geez, sorry. I was just trying to cheer you up. Oh, that's right. I forgot you're so sensitive.
I know you like making me uncomfortable, but it's not funny. I can't stay here and humor you. I have to be there for my son.
Well, what about me, huh? I had someone who was always there for me until she started hanging out with you.
Don't do this, Amethyst.
Uh-oh.
Seriously.
I bet you'd stay for her.
You wouldn't.
What? Do this?
Uh-oh.
Hey, Greg. Turn around. Check it out.
No, you're doing it. I want to be friends again. I really do. But I can't let you do this to me again.
Stop! What are you two doing?
Oh, wow.
I get it. It's hard to deal with
Finishing this today.
Right.
Pearl was there.
Hello, Greg. Nice of you to join us.
I don't believe it. Whoa. I'm so sorry about the mess.
Was this your idea? Well,
It was Amethyst's idea.
Aww.
I just thought we could take all this stuff back to the temple. It can fit in my room. That way you don't have to throw anything away. But you can keep this.
Aww.
Oh, thank you, Amethyst.
Aw, that actually made me tear up a bit. Adventure Time Slumber Party What? No. Okay, that was weird. It was trying to make it was saying that Adventure Time was next on my stream, which is strange. But anyway, man, honestly, these episodes just keep getting better and better, in my opinion. It's like, I mean, to a degree, some from the past have been, I think, more powerful overall, but just the way in which they do the storytelling just feels so... the way they've built upon it over time has really improved. I mean, just monumentally. Like, comparing this episode next to, like, one of the first few is just night and day. Animation quality-wise, emotionally, it's just, there's just so much to like about this episode. Let me think here. Some of the really big points. Well, I would probably have to say that just the biggest positive point of this entire episode has to be that reveal of the relationship between Amethyst and Greg, of why they used to be friends, and obviously why they weren't friends anymore, or at least not close friends, for a long while. And Amethyst was kind of using that show to almost sort of force Greg into, just enjoying that again. It was sort of an empty gesture, but it was the best she could really pull off, from my perspective. But, I did notice one thing that Greg said was, you know how I feel about shape-shifting. And I don't know if that's maybe an extension from when Steven went through his sort of shape-shifting fit, or basically where he was changing ages rapidly, and like he was growing all those little Stevens all over him, and it was getting really disturbing. But I don't know if it's something having to do with that, or maybe, I don't know, shape-shifting having to do perhaps with Rose, or just the crystal gems in general. I don't know. I'm interested to see if they'll expand on that any, to see if they sort of flesh out the idea there of, you know how I feel about shape-shifting. But then that moment where Amethyst changes into a form extremely similar to Rose, I mean, that was messed up. I mean, that was seriously a messed up thing to do. And I'm not going to say I understand why she did it, but I can understand how, emotionally, especially if she was feeling rejected again. And as she said, she used to have someone that took care of her all the time, like Greg does with Steven, or was there for him all the time, and she had Rose there for her all the time, but then when he came into the picture, she stopped hanging out with her, and because she took or she gave up her physical form so Steven could be born, that she was just permanently gone. So that just, there was just so much compacted into that one little scene, and I do love how they finished that up, how they closed that out, how they showed that there is still the chance for, you know, a friendship to be there between Greg and Amethyst. That Amethyst, you know, showed that she truly was sorry for how she had acted and how she had reacted. I really like how this episode ended up. And I'm also I'm also curious as to whether or not the little storage unit will come into play again ever, since, you know, it's basically empty at this point. So, I mean, that means that Greg can put more things in there, but will he? Will they just kind of start turning the Amethyst portion of the temple into a storage unit of sorts? It's hard to say, but I don't know, it just gives me a lot of thoughts of potential possibilities that could possibly come in the future. Now, as for Annoyances, I mean, overall, I don't really have any, other than just maybe that one little scene where Steven went over to the fry place to get the food and had that little scene with Petey. That wasn't necessary, like, at all. Like, everything else fit in, but that scene in particular right there just kind of felt shoehorned in, I guess you might say, just to make sure that the episode met its full expanse. And that's really, that's definitely a nitpick. But yeah, that would probably be about the only real annoyance I have with this episode. Music-wise, or, well, track-wise, nothing really stood out to me in particular. Or at least nothing that came to mind. I think I was too invested in what was going on to really be able to pay attention to any of the background music, which in my opinion says a lot about the storytelling in this particular episode. Not so much saying that it's a negative thing for the music track, or music tracks, because overall I really think that pretty much all the music for the show has been really spot on. Now as for a quote of the episode, as ridiculous as it is, I guess I have to take it from that Lil Butler show. You people have too much money. And well, first of all, I feel like there's been some mention of Lil Butler in the past on the show. Either that, or maybe it's just been something I've seen mentioned online that I just didn't know the context of. But that seemed strangely familiar, and it's also just bizarre in how that one little intro clip they showed of the show, and even the little side mentions they make throughout the rest of the episode, how this show is very much just a flat-out parody of all of the 80s, probably 70s, definitely the 90s sitcoms, and probably, I'm sure, some of those still going into today, but it was just such a strange thing, but I also loved it at the same time. So, I mean, overall thoughts for the episode? Honestly, I loved it. As I said before, I feel like these episodes are getting better and better, and I'm very much looking forward to the next episode, which is going to be, give me just a moment so that I can fast forward through some of the episodes here, because it likes to not show where I was in the feed. Let's see, coming up next is Marble Madness, which, unless I'm mistaken, I think Marble Madness is the old NES game I used to play as a kid. So that should be fun. It will be completely unrelated, I'm sure. But yeah, up next will be Marble Madness. But overall, for this episode, maximum capacity. If any of you have your own favorites, your own annoyances that, I just didn't pick up on, just anything you want to talk about with the episode, feel free to let me know what it is in the comments down below. I'm so glad I'm getting back into this show, and I'm going to be watching at least 2 or 3 episodes here to get moving again and really get this series going again for you all, because I know that, while the Steven Universe videos may not be the most popular videos on this channel, I'm really enjoying them, and the people that also are fans of the show, I know that you all are really enjoying these too. And so I'm happy to have you all along for the ride. And until next time, for Marble Madness, I'm PapaKenn. Later days.